Head-to-head strategy is something that I haven't spoken about a lot, only really when we do the Q&As and when people ask me questions on the Discord there. So I want to start this year off by giving you very much a structure on how you should set up your head-to-head squad, because a lot of you are trying to beat your mates in your head-to-head teams. Not everyone's playing for overall, and that's okay. So I wanted to get a little bit of content out about that as well. So I hope you enjoy this one. It's got a bunch of different points that I'm going to go through. It is going to be a little bit of a structure as to how I would think about it going into this 2023 NRL fantasy season. So how it's going to work from the top, we've got 22 rounds before the final series begins. So the final series is going to be between rounds 23 and rounds 26. So you don't actually play that last round because a lot of players rest and stuff like that. So you don't want your grand final in that round 27. So that leaves you 21 trading rounds. You obviously don't trade round one. You start trading in round two there. And so how I'd be looking at this is I'd be looking to leave a minimum of 6 to 8 trades for those final 4 rounds. So getting up to round 23, I would have that 6 to 8 remaining. So you get given 8 of those 44 total trades in round 20. So after round 19 there. So I'd be looking to have about 3 to 5 to 6 left over after the 19 rounds, plus the 8 you get given. So anywhere between 11 and 13 or 14 trades, I think would be great. Leaving you with a bunch of trades there so you can trade well to round out your strong 18. So with a head-to-head team, you're looking, if you can, really luckily, have 19 good players, but hopefully 18 really strong players. If you can't get to that, then 17 really strong players and an 18th man who could probably give you a 30 or a 40. That's how we want to play this one. So that amount of trades allows you to do that. So that gives you 30 to 32 trades to use in the 19 rounds before that. So if you're looking at that, it's obviously less than 2 per round. But there's a few different factors that you have to think about compared to that of an overall player. So we have 3 non-scoring rounds, with being round 13, 16, and also 19. So when overall players are really trading heavy, this is when the head-to-head teams will have a bye. Awesome. You don't have to try and beat your mate in that week, which most likely means you can hold off on trades. So there's 3 less rounds there. So basically 30 to 32 trades for the 16 rounds. So it gives you about 2 per week on average. And to be honest with you, that is plenty for you to get to your best side at the end of the season and win your head-to-head final. So in those 3 rounds, I'd be trying not to trade unless there's a player who you think is going to decrease in value. So they might have had a few bad games in a row and then they're going to lose 50K that next week. Same happens on the other side. If you're someone you want to pick up now that you know is going to be in your team longer term or is going to make you a lot of money, and they're going to, if they score like a 40 this next week, they're going to gain 50 to 70K, then I would make that trade in that week. But other than that, I would try to hold off in those weeks when you don't need to. That's that one there. So you're most likely going to start with 6 guns. 6 to 7 is pretty well normal. That and for a head-to-head strategy, I'd be looking to keep them in your team for the entirety of the year. The only time I would look to trade them is if they have a long-term injury, so something 4+ weeks. You see with a lot of overall players, a player could be out for 2 to 3 weeks, and that is enough for you to trade them out because you don't want to fall behind, especially if they're a top gun like a Nico Hines. In this scenario, if Hines is out for 3 weeks, I'd be holding steady because there's no point trading him out and then bringing him back in, because most of the time you can cover him, I suppose, in those rounds that he's out and still try to sneak a win or 2 in your head-to-heads. If he's injured over a period of time during the middle there, the 13, 16, and 19 buys, then there's one more week that you don't have to worry about his score missing out on his score for your team during those weeks. So something to think about there. Just try to hold onto your guns as much as possible. So that leads to the next point there, where you'd be looking to have about 14 guns by the start of round 20. So that 30 to 32 trades I'd be talking about earlier, using that allotment to be able to get 8 extra guns. So the only way to do that, obviously, is by building your team value. So to get 8 extra guns, it's going to be a lot of extra money. It's going to be at least 2 to 3 million there to get to a final 17. Could be looking for 3 to 4 million, but up to that 14, you're looking for a couple of million extra. You'd be able to upgrade a couple of your mid-ranges, 2 guns, and a lot of your cash cows, you'd be able to eventually turn them into a gun. Stepping stones along the way, it might be. It could be a 250K guy who you get to a 400,000, who gets to a 550, and then maybe you get to a 750 type of player. So it does take a bit of time, and that's why there is that many trades to use going into that part of the year. Okay, round 2, we pretty much have the team value cash to trade up to 17 and 18 guns. So yeah, you might be looking to have about 14 at this point, start of round 20, but you have some guys that you could trade down and upgrade, or you have a bit of cash in the bank that over that next few rounds there, that 3 to 5 extra I was talking about, you would be able to trade those guys down and up to be able to get close to that 17 to 18 guns. So what this is going to do is give you rounds 19 to 21 rounds to gain an extra 10 to 12 guns. Beautiful, from that start that I was talking about. This means you must be disciplined with your trades. So I wouldn't be trading guns at all, as I said, unless it's the 4+. You'd be milking cows when they're ready, and don't miss the good ones. So the cash cows, you can try and squeeze a little bit out of them, but if you think someone that gets 300k, they get to about 500 and they start losing that, I'd be trading them on, moving them on straight away, so you can get to another good cash cow. If you're able to trade those types of guys for guys on the way up, you're very quickly going to add team value to your side. So that's a great one there. And don't miss the good ones. So if there is someone you know that's going to play 4+ weeks that will make 150k, 100k, whatever it is, jump on them, because you have a little bit of a luxury where you don't have to trade as heavy through the middle. Make sure you get those guys early and build that team value, because it is super important. Next one there, I just wouldn't be going for any cash grabs or short-term points unless you're well behind in your league. So if you're doing okay, you're middling there, you're winning a bunch of your games, then I wouldn't be wasting trades on guys that are going to make 100k, or someone's got three games in there and they're going to score 350s in that time. I only think if you're trying to catch up, then that's the strategy you can use. So just a general one there. And our last one, so trades are only for trading out underperforming or peak players for players who are clearly going to make money, or they're a gun. So if you're looking at underperforming guns, guys that's maybe on the decline, they're getting slightly older, they're not playing as well as they were last year, I think it's worth moving them on to a better gun quickly. If you've got a mid-ranger that is underperforming, they're not performing to the standard that you thought, they're not going to make the money that you thought, I'd be moving them to a good cash cow or trying to upgrade them to a gun. In this strategy, you're looking to get as many guns in your team as quick as possible. So the way to do that is to build up cash from those cash cows, keep turning them over to get to those guns. So if you've got guys in the middle that aren't making you any cash, they're a waste of space in your squad. And this is a very similar scenario to if you're playing overall anyway. You're looking to remove those guys. You want to make some money and get points. Obviously being overall, in overall, that is the name of the game, to get as many points as possible and win. So I'd be moving them as quickly as possible to guys that can make money, or they're a gun, and there's no compromising on that strategy. Because if you start to get a little bit loose with your head-to-head strategy, you will run out of trades pretty quickly. If you start trading a bunch for the middle there, if you aren't trading correctly in terms of that strategy there, you are going to struggle. But let me know if you feel like I left something out for those guys that are really expert head-to-head players. I don't play it as much. I really love the overall game. But the head-to-head one's awesome as well. And for those that play draft leagues, we can talk about that as well. If you have a question about that, just send that in the comments. I could potentially make a video on that one as well. There'll be videos pretty much every day, I think, from here on in. I did a little schedule as to what that's going to look like, as to how many videos I'm going to make, and there's plenty. But good luck to you all. As I said, any questions, let me know in the bottom there. See you later.